know the hard work and dedication that these guys put into, keep people safe. Me running for sheriff, I felt over the past couple of years there's been a disconnect from the community and police. So in the community that I'm in, I'm definitely going to try to bring that back together.
Shaq, I see you and Jamie. Hold up.
Buster, it works.
I love making neighborhoods safe.
I mentioned that I plan on running in 2020. I live in Henry County. That's a town called McDonough outside of Atlanta. When I was coming up, the police were loud and respected, but it's tougher on both sides right now. I would try to bring back community policing. When I was coming up, there was a cop in my neighborhood. Everybody knew him. He was a fair guy. Like, he'd catch you stealing gum and he'd tap you, hey man, get out of here. Like, we need that. And then you'd have Ms. Jones be like, hey, Officer so-and-so, kids down there fighting, and then, go down there and break it up. So I would definitely try to introduce that back. We are definitely more divided than ever. That's why whenever I'm out there, I just try to ease people's tension. We need more togetherness. We need more joyfulness. That's why I always try to just make people laugh. There's a lot going on and a lot of craziness going on. And you would think in 2017 would be much more advanced, but it seems like we're going backwards.
A suspect who they believe robbed a convenience store. These pictures were taken Tuesday night in the Robertson Best Way in Fieldale. They show a man walking into the store and standing next to the car he's believed to have gotten away in. According to the sheriff's office, as the clerk was ringing him up, he pulled up his shirt and the clerk saw what looked like a gun. The man grabbed some cash from the register and then drove off. If you know who this is, you're asked to call the Henry County Sheriff's Office.
Separating the truth from the lies. Coming at you from underneath the Noonan, Georgia. Heavily climate-engineered sky, you're about to receive a dose, a weakened one, of the shock treatment. You heard that right, party people and party sheeple. Shaquille O'Neal, former NBA superstar, is going to run for Henry County, Georgia, sheriff in 2020. You heard that right. Shaquille O'Neal, you seen him right here. You've watched him for several decades playing basketball. Became a household name. Video games named after him. I even had one for the Super Nintendo. Shaquille O'Neal basketball. I certainly did. And now Shaquille O'Neal, who moved from Orlando, Florida, apparently lived in California too. Then he was in Orlando, Florida, sold his house. I think he even lowered his price just to get to Georgia. By the way, Lester, Georgia must be better than Florida, for even Shaquille O'Neal wants to live here. He's in Henry County and will run for sheriff in 2020, and he has a plan to heal the disconnect between police and communities. Former NBA superstar Shaquille O'Neal wants to bring back the way things used to be with cops, when they didn't want to arrest you over every little thing. I mean, you see, they saw a fight. Maybe someone reported a fight 40 years ago on the street, two kids, scrapping it out. Instead of, putting them in juvenile detention or letting the parents be accountable, the sheriff or the deputy would just break it up and make sure they return to the parents and probably tell on them too. He wants to bring back that rapport, where you've watched it on shows from years ago. Like the police twirling his baton, whistling, walking around the street, and hello, Mrs. Sanderson, hello, Mr. Smith, kind of like that, Because right now it just seems like the police. I mean, they're too robotic, They're too robotic now. It's like they're very impersonal. It's hard to relate to them. It's not like it used to be, and that's what he wants to restore it to. Former NBA superstar Shaquille O'Neal recently announced that he plans to run for sheriff in Henry County, Georgia in 2020. That's right, 45 minutes away from here. We asked Shaq about what he hopes to achieve with his transition in law enforcement. Now, this was an article done by Business Insider. Shaquille O'Neal for sheriff. He wants to heal the community, basically. And he talked to the Business Insider to talk and about his collaboration with home security technology company Ring to raise awareness about how homeowners can better protect their property. So he's proactive about that. He's with his company, security company Ring, and he wants to have safer neighborhoods on top of being a sheriff and making sure law and order is being served. However you want to phrase that. Shaquille says when he was in LA, he went through a full-fledged police academy. So he knows the hard work and dedication that those guys, women and men, put in to keep people safe. Shaquille running for sheriff, he feels over the past couple of years there's been a disconnect from the community and police. So the community that he's in, he's definitely going to try to bring it back together. And he lives in Henry County. It's McDonough, and I've been there, just outside of the ATL. And when he was coming up, or growing up, you should say, the police were loved and respected, but it's tough for both sides right now, he says. So he wants to bring back community policing, which, let me stop right there. There's a guy in Coweta County that I pushed for last year. His name is Doug Jordan. Community policing, Shaq wanted, just like Doug Jordan wants for Coweta County. But Coweta County dropped the ball. They elected the same old thing. They stuck to the devil they know, the establishment, the good old boy that, went to school here, raised a family here, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying they dropped the ball when it came to the platform that Doug Jordan stood for. He wanted to police the communities. Wanted more officers on the road. Motorcycles, too. Officers on motorcycles, and get the ones that are already employed officers to actually do their jobs. He wanted to get rid of corruption. That's what he wants to do in 2020. Corruption in the sheriff's department. All right? But Coweta dropped the ball. He wants to protect all our children in the county schools. But Coweta dropped the ball. He's backed by Sheriff Arpaio. All right? And he also wants to drive out the gangs and give them the toughest, harshest legal treatment levied by the courts could levy. You won't have to worry about drugs being available to your families with him as sheriff. I think he lost his son, or one of his children, to drugs. So he knows all too well what it's like, party people and party sheeple. Don't be a sheeple, all right? Quit voting for the things that you voted for.
Coweta County, it's time to protect all our children in all our county schools by instituting more resources. It's time to protect our young teenage drivers on our city and county roadways by strict law enforcement. It's time to stop drugs and gang activity. It's time to protect older citizens from abuse, whether physical or monetary deception or fraud. It's time to protect all citizens with greater visibility on residential patrols. It's time to elect someone who is pro-Second Amendment and pro-cleaning up Coweta County. Endorsed by Sheriff Arpaio. It's time to elect Doug Jordan for Coweta.
It was time, but Coweta County dropped the ball, shakalaka. They voted for someone other than Doug Jordan. We got the same old, same old. We got dangerous drivers on the road. We don't have community policing like we wanted. We got jackasses parking on the lawn. They don't know where to park. They're slap batshit crazy. We got still the same, crime rate. The gangs are still there. And there's no fear on the road. And, it's just not what we wanted. Doug Jordan is what we wanted. But Coweta County dropped the ball. You have one more shot. You have one shot. Do not miss the opportunity. Do not blow it, Coweta County. Doug Jordan. I think I summed it up pretty good in that 40-something second clip. Doug Jordan for Coweta Sheriff. Shaq Attack for Sheriff in Henry County. Doug Jordan's pro-Second Amendment. He wants to protect the older citizens and educate them on monetary deception and protect them from physical abuse. Basically, make Coweta County safer again. It's relatively safe, but it needs to be safer. Stricter law enforcement. Because I don't see it right now, strict law enforcement, at all. There's no fear out there. And he's a stand-up guy, backed by Sheriff Arpaio, 2020, Coweta County. You got your last shot. Don't blow it. Doug Jordan for sheriff, and Henry County, Shaq attack. I'm gonna go rest my voice. See you next time on Shock Treatment.